The Mustang has been redesigned. For 2024, we still get a V8, we get an EcoBoost, and we get updates all around. With these updates come more power for both the turbo and the V8 models, and I'm gonna take a full detailed look at the exterior, the interior, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all the exterior details of this redesigned Mustang. So first of all, we still get EcoBoost and GT models. There's even now a new Dark Horse model, and it's still available as a coupe or a convertible. And we have the GT Premium Coupe right here. So first of all, right up on the hood, you've got the pony in the front. Everything looks very familiar, but it's more horizontal looking with this redesign. We've got the black accents on this one. You even have a sensor down there for your driver assist features. We now have this tri-bar LED headlight. The LED headlights are standard. They're kind of unique looking. They've got the typical signature lighting for Ford here, LED turn signal right there. I think they look interesting. And you've got some venting going on down there, a little bit of a lip at the bottom as well. Overall, I think it's a very sharp looking car and a nice redesign. Now this paint color is the Rapid Red Metallic Tint Coat. I like it. I would take the Mustang in just about any color. You can even see the 5.0 badging on the side. Wheels are gonna range a lot. So we have 19-inch wheels here, but there's so many different options that you can get. This one also has the Brembo brakes. I think that looks pretty nice, Brembo branding on there. And you've got 255 tires in the front and 275 wide tires in the back. Classic Ford is gonna give us the sequential turn signals. The rear end still looks very similar, but this is a little bit more angular back here. There's definitely a big, like, crevice in there compared to the previous gen. We also have the optional taller rear spoiler here. Let me know what you think of that. Dimensionally, it's 189 inches long, typical dimensions for the Mustang. This one's got the 3.73 torsion rear differential, but there's so many different options you can go with that. We've got 4 exhaust outlets back here as well. So this looks nice, GT badging. What do y'all think? Now, you can pop the trunk a little bit with that. Go ahead and open it up. Nice and easy, lifts up pretty much all on its own. And this is actually a surprisingly good trunk. You get over 13 cubic feet. You wouldn't expect to be able to get a whole lot back here, but you can. And with the B&O sound system, you've got that sub right there. I'll talk more about that in a second. Not the most practical, but still more space than you would probably expect. Now, the smart key system is standard. Remote start is optional. I'm guessing probably with the automatic transmission, but like I showed you, you can open up your trunk. And the way the smart key works is it has a sensor behind the door handle. So as soon as you do that, it will unlock, or you can press that to lock it. One thing we don't have is like the touchpad system in here. It's just the smart key system. But as we go inside, we have the optional Recaro Performance front seat. So you've got the branding on there. Take a look at that. These are some pretty slick looking seats. So we've got this leather on here. They've got good bolstering around them, even some good bolstering down at the sides. So they are perforated, but they are not ventilated. That is one thing to note with this, and they're manual adjustable. So you just got your basic adjustments here, and there's no lumbar adjustment on this one, whereas typically the standard seat, you will have power seats and lumbar adjustment. You also get a leather wrapped flat bottom steering wheel right here. It looks nice. It is all manual, so it's manual tilt and telescoping. And I've been comfortable in here, even though we don't have lumbar support. The bolstering on these seats is fantastic. So if you're actually driving fast, taking corners, you'll feel very secure in here. And that back seat, not much to say about it. It's pretty small, but they are some pretty deep buckets. So this whole Mustang interior is different and updated and kind of totally unexpected. I mean, look at this gigantic panel right here that shares 2 big screens. Let's go ahead and start it up. Push button start, it's right there. Got some nice graphics on here too. I think it's a nice looking cockpit in here, and get a quick little run through of the gears. So reverse is with the collar. So you've got the collar to go into reverse. It's nice and smooth. You get a good backup camera right there as well, and you even get parking sensors on here too. And one thing to quickly note, nice thing about the parking sensors is because it's hard to see behind you. And another thing is that we've got blind spot indicators in the mirror standard. So that is also nice. Move this out, and you've got a 6-speed. So I mean, everything moves nice and smoothly. I really do like this. It's pretty short throws here as well. And another thing, don't mind my sweat in here. It's hot and sticky out. I can put my bottle in here or cup holders or anything in the cup holders, either one, and it's shifted over that way enough to where it doesn't really bother me shifting gears. Another unique thing that I'm just going to start off with is this electronic parking brake, and they call it their drift brake. So they said that this is supposed to make it easier to drift. So it'll show you on the screen when the brake is on, like right now. And to undo it, all you do is just push it down, and then it comes off. I don't know why it's beeping at me. But you pull on it, you still pull like up like normal, but it doesn't stay up. It's just so unique. I'm just not used to it, even though it's still electronic. This is actually an optional brake. A regular electronic parking brake is now standard. The pedals look nice. You've got these aluminum pedals, and the bite point on here is pretty early. So I mean, you don't have a lot of play right away. It's very easy to get used to. Over here on the door, this entire panel is soft touch up here. This whole panel is also soft. It looks nice. You've got a good big old grab handle right there as well. Not a whole lot of space down here though. All the lighting controls are on the inside. Everything looks very familiar, as does just like other typical Ford models. So one big news is this big old screen. It's over a foot up there, and it's digital. You've got controls on here, so you can control drive modes right here, your lane centering system, which is optional, adaptive cruise, which is also optional. All of that's on here. Volume controls over here. This is actually like your steering. Let me show you. So that controls whether or not you have like normal steering, lighter steering, or a sporty steering, which is totally up to you. I love being able to quickly access that. Drive modes, you can still do on here, but I wish it was just like, boom, a sport mode or a custom mode. You have to tap it a couple times and then look up there to be able to see it. But those are your drive modes that you can go through. It looks pretty nice. Also on this screen is a reflection of yourself, just kidding. Bunch of different information in the middle that you can go through. There's also different views and setups that you can have for the entire gauge cluster. So you can have this link to where if you change drive modes, let's go to sport, it's gonna change the way your cluster looks. The exhaust is automatically gonna ramp up. So check that out. You can have different setups, different views, all of that. Now even a bigger screen over here, and this is pretty wild. So we have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. All of your climate controls are down here. Single zone is standard, but we have the optional dual zone. You can still touch and go through automatic modes. You can touch and then basically drag your fan speed like that. Temperature control is also slide or tap, however you want. Heated steering wheel option on there too, or you can expand the menu by touching there, and you can see a little bit more. That fan is going nuts. It's a little bit annoying. I honestly wish that this was an entire dedicated layout down there to where I didn't have to open up a menu or a slider or anything like that. It's just, I just wish things were still a little bit more simplified, but that's just me. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto works well on here. You can even have it be like a split screen like this with different information there, or you can expand it for the entire screen, and you have a home button right there to go back to the Ford menu. And then there's a whole bunch more that you can get into in here as well. If we go to features, driver assistance features, this is where you can adjust and customize that stuff. It does have a automatic brake hold option, which I do like, especially with the manual, but you have to go into the screen in order to turn it off or on. Back out of there, along the features, you have your My Mustang, so you can adjust your cluster theme over here, like I've showed you, even your gauges. We have track apps in here. This is pretty cool. Even a built-in launch control, drift brake right there. It's pretty cool how Ford has really made this kind of customized to being sporty, track oriented, and all of that. You can also hit down here, and then that will bring up the option to even change the exhaust mode. So right now, track and sport are louder, and then I'll go turn it down. Can you hear the difference? Regular, quiet. Sport, and especially when you're driving, you'll really tell the difference with sport, normal, and regular. We also have a 12-speaker B&O sound system in here. Works well, it sounds nice. It's like when you get tired of listening to that fantastic exhaust, you can just turn the B&O system on, and then go back to listen to the exhaust. And then down here, a couple little quick shortcuts. Your start button there, I showed you that to get to your exhaust and your performance stuff. Volume knob is right here. There's no tuning knob or anything, but we get a wireless charger, a couple USB ports, a 12-volt power outlet right there, our nice little short shifter, and then 2 cup holders back here, which accommodate a good size drinks. The armrest just is static right here. It doesn't slide or anything like that, but you've got one little 12-volt power outlet in there and enough storage for a car like this. Another thing over here is that we've got a locking glove box, which is always nice to see. And you've got Mustang written up in there, kind of some almost like little bit of carbon fiber looking material, soft material up here. I mean, the whole interior is very, very nice for what you might expect in a Mustang. Even up here, we've got a frameless auto dimming mirror standard on this one. We've got garage controls right there. There's a sunglass holder up here. There's no moonroof or anything, but obviously you can get the convertible if you want, and LED interior lighting. Now for 2024, the turbo and this V8 actually get more power. There's a slight drop in torque though with this V8 model. A little bit interesting, but you got a pretty good amount more power. So under the hood right here, we've got this 5-liter V8 with 480 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. In fact, we have the active valve exhaust, which gives us 486 horsepower, but you can upgrade to the dark horse model and get 500 horsepower. 500 horsepower Mustang V8. So the EcoBoost comes standard with the 10-speed automatic. This one can be fitted with the 10-speed automatic as an option, but its 6-speed manual is standard equipment. You can get a variety of rear differentials with their ratios. We have the Torsen limited slip differential back there. There's different numbers, different ratios you can get. Miles per gallon here is 14 in the city, 23 on the highway, and 17 combined. If you go with the automatic, you'll get 1 extra MPG across the board. One other cool thing is that when you start it up, so obviously you can have it be loud when it starts up if you want, but if you've got, you live in a neighborhood or you want it to be quiet early in the morning, whatever, you can program it on the screen to where it's a quiet start for a set period of time during the day. All right, y'all, let's get going in this 2024 Mustang. So right off the bat, it was in sport mode here. I'm gonna go back to normal mode. We'll go back into sport mode in a little bit and test that out and talk about everything. One thing I want to mention before we get on the road is that this will come standard with a lane keeping system and blind spot monitoring, so you don't have to worry about the terrible blind spots as much. You can option up for adaptive cruise like this one has, and the lane centering technology, which this one also has as well. Even with the manual transmission, you can have the adaptive cruise. You still obviously do the shifting, but if you get up into that 6th gear, you're on the highway, you can just let it kind of keep you through a range of speed there. So that is nice. Now, first impression, still feels amazing, sounds amazing. All right, I'm gonna put us in quiet mode actually for a second, so you can hit the Mustang emblem down there. It's in like normal exhaust mode, so I just put it in quiet mode. So if you're in a neighborhood, early or super late, you can do that. So you can still hear it. You go into normal mode, once we get on it, you'll definitely be able to hear it even more, and especially in sport mode. I mean, it's just so fun to listen to at times. Maybe we'll even roll the window down, try to get a little bit extra noise with that, but I'm gonna try to let you listen in when we get going. All right, we've got it in normal exhaust mode. Just your standard takeoff there, it sounds fantastic. It's so deep and so rich, and we're on a real bumpy road right now, so you'll be able to tell that. But this comes with the optional Magna Ride damping system, so should help to smooth out the bumps in comparison to the ones with the regular suspension, and still handle really well. One thing I have noticed is that this does feel super well planted. It feels like a big heavy car. I think part of it is because we've got a V8 right in front of us here, but and I just love the natural aspiration with these cars. So as we slow down here, let's get a little bit of downshifting. it does rev match for you. So you can turn the rev matching off or on, but it sounds great when it does it. Got a piece of wood. Ooh. Just even low RPM ranges, it just sounds fantastic. So with manual transmissions, you basically are the sport mode, but let me put this into sport mode. Changes this, ramps up the exhaust sound. It just sounds fantastic. So rev match here sounds excellent. That was into third, second. And you can just hear the sound. Let's roll the window down. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. See what we can hear. Let's go into second. Sounds excellent. It really does. It's just so smooth. Sounds so nice. No matter what RPM range you keep this at or shift at, it just sounds fantastic. And you can get the 10-speed with this if you want. It's an option, but I'm guessing so many of you are going to want to control it and listen to it, and it's just, it does not disappoint at all. And here's the thing, maybe an unpopular opinion. I think this amount of power is perfect. Like, I don't really need or want, you know, Hellcat type of power or the GT500 type of power, because it's almost just insane and it's almost too much to really have fun with on a street level. This is excellent. You can just, you've got the great sound, it feels great, it's still fast, low 4-second range, 0 to 60 without being dangerously ridiculous, but to each their own. This is so fun to drive. I love driving it. It sounds amazing. And you still have a bump in power, updated technology in here compared to the previous gen. So there's a lot to like about the Mustang. It drives nice for what it is. Automatic, manual transmission, either way, you're gonna have some fun. So to wrap things up on this redesigned 2024 Ford Mustang, I like the looks. I love the way that it still feels and drives. It's just got a great aesthetic for a modern day muscle car. It's got this fantastic 5-liter V8 under the hood. You get more power with this V8. You have the new Dark Horse model with even more power. Those EcoBoost models are surprisingly fast and even get a bump in power too. So honestly, I think Ford did a great job improving it, updating it without completely changing it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I would love to hear that. And for the modern day muscle cars, is this Mustang something you would look at? Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.